this has been one of those days for me. I woke up this morning with what I believe was Alzheimer's. Okay? Going down fast on south. Had to go into Yucca Valley today, and on the way home back to Joshua Tree, I started hearing a form of music I had never heard before, and mostly was European, and I could only describe it as really beautiful, apocalyptic. You know, the lyrics and the music, and I was going, wow, I guess we're there. Hi, Eric. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Patty.
Well, the other thing I have to tell Artemis is that the song she chose was incredibly right on. And I want to know, did you have secret information about that? Because what Tim told me was, as most of you know, he was really kind of a snob about classical music. And it had to be real classical music. But the one exception that he made in the pop world was Joni Mitchell. That was his one exception. And I suspect that part of that, besides him liking her, which is debatable, comes from the fact that he told me that when he was still in New York, she drove by in her limo and got out and listened to him play, and then stuck a $100 bill in his jar.
Right.
So he was instantly in love. I mean, you know, Tim never really did play for free. We all know that. You know, just maybe not on a Joni Mitchell level. Right? So, coming home with 10 or 20 bucks, enough to get drunk and have a little bit over, was good for him. We had problems. He was my roommate for almost 2 years, and I'm a pretty smart lady, so I started seeing, as I'm sure a lot of you did, if you knew Tim at all, that he sometimes had problems listening and communicating on the same topic that you started. And we loved him for that, you know. He was truly unique. He was not just a bum, a homeless person. He was a snob. I hate to tell people, but he actually used to craft his costumes to get more money in his jar. You know, I'd go up to him and say, "Ooh, you need another hole right there, you know, to milk it, baby." And he said, "Come on, I'm doing pretty good so far." Of course, Christmas was always his big favorite, because he was pretty much guaranteed at the farmer's market considerably over 100 every week. And which, if you live in Joshua Tree for a while, seems like a lot of money, you know? But it's like what $1 used to be. And but he lived well. I mean, he didn't take just any food. He would take it, but then he would stock it up in piles in his closet with no intention of ever eating it, because let's face it, it's not really food. The stuff that they give out a lot, you know, like bad store cookies and stuff like that, you know. But he did love his sardines, and he always had his sardines.
Yeah, we like those sardines.
And I remember, you know, pouring him some Jack Daniels one night. This wasn't the last night. The last night I was pouring Jameson's, and he didn't complain. But, yeah, he had me wrapped around his little finger. he finally came out after a year and a half and said, you know, Jack Daniels really isn't my favorite. You know, I think like a really strong cognac, you know, Remy Martin VSOP or something like that. I wouldn't have gotten any complaints. Anybody that wants to help me out on this tuning? Just say sharp flat. I'm probably going high on all of them. Well, just like me getting ready, this song is probably going to take about 2 hours. Here we go. That's awful. I should have known better because I am starting to lose my hearing sense, you know, as far as the accuracy. I used to be a genius at it, but it's starting to go. God, this sounds bad. Okay. What did Mel Bay say? He was a friend of mine, and he was a friend of mine. Never had no money, couldn't pay his fines, and he was a friend of mine. He died on the road. Yes, Tim died on the road. He was just a poor boy, far away from home, and he was a friend of mine. Well, he never done no wrong. He never done no wrong. I never had no money, was never satisfied, but he was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Godsmack. Well, I just stole away and cried. I just stole away and cried. 'Cause when I say his name, you know, people, I just break down and die. And he was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine.